Welcome to American Ninja Warrior. I'm Alex. While I'm waiting a few more days for the final decision to come down on this dude, I figured it'd be good to do a light palate cleanser video. You know, before they tell me that he gets no punishment and I'm inevitably screaming in front of this camera again. The Consumer Electronics Show, aka CES, was last week. CES is a magical place where small and big companies attempt to dazzle retailers to sell them weird and often impractical gadgets. This year, among sleep pillow robots, headbands that jam electricity into your brain to help you lose weight, and airbags for old people's butts, there was a familiar product.
I'm here at SKULLY Technologies with their new FENIX AR augmented reality helmet.
SKULLY is back, baby! Booyah! To refresh everyone's memory, the previous SKULLY was an ambitious attempt to bring modern car technology, such as rear-facing cameras and augmented reality heads-up displays, to motorcyclists. SKULLY was started in 2013 by two brothers, Marcus and Mitch Weller. Not those guys. Those guys. In 2014, they joined a wave of crowdfunding ventures, raising almost $2.5 million, which was 10 times their goal. As isn't uncommon, the product was delayed several times, while a slow trickle of helmets made it into backers' hands. During 2015 and 2016, some frustrated customers and backers started to request refunds, despite SKULLY's promise that they would eventually fulfill their order. August 2016, SKULLY files for bankruptcy, despite thousands of unfulfilled orders and unprocessed refunds. We find out later that the Weller brothers likely didn't have the skill set required to make a massive project like this a reality, and a number of allegations arise regarding embezzlement and mistreatment of some employees. Fast forward again to October 2017. A new company called SKULLY Technologies announces that they'll be shipping a newer, better version of the original SKULLY helmet called the FENIX. I see what you did there.
Clever girl.
Hopefully you hear that statement and you get a little excited, but then immediately that excitement is tamped down by suspicion and skepticism. Some questions that should immediately come to your mind are, how are they paying for this? And is there any fine print or gotchas for these fulfillment promises? I did some research, and here's the story of the new SKULLY helmet, and more importantly, SKULLY Technologies, the company manufacturing it. The thing about Silicon Valley startups is that, despite gross mismanagement of a company, good ideas rarely die. Flailing startups like SKULLY still have capital investments like specialized machining equipment, as well as intellectual property like patents and trademarks. These assets can be used to integrate these technologies into a new product, retrofitted into an older product, or sold or licensed to other companies in the market. Rafael and Ivan Contreras, their cousins, picked up the pieces of SKULLY. They founded their own aviation technology company in 2004 called Carburas, which is still in business today. They've also reinvigorated a number of motorcycle-adjacent companies, including Tero, an electric motorcycle company, and GasGas, a Spanish motorcycle manufacturer. So that answers how they're going to fund SKULLY Technologies and how they're going to be able to afford potentially thousands of free helmets for customers. The biggest question for me, though, is why would they revive this tainted and defunct SKULLY name? The answer is that they see more value in the market awareness of the SKULLY name than they do in the value of the free helmets or the bad blood spilled by SKULLY burning its previous customers. And you know what? They're probably right. Hell, they probably calculated it as a marketing expense, cheaper than a Super Bowl ad. Based on my research, the Contreras cousins seem like competent, experienced, and smart dudes with a proven track record of actually fulfilling promises. Let's talk about the fine print on some of these details, though. Supposedly, the SKULLY FENIX will be shipping in summer 2018. Summer could be considered as soon as 4 months from now in May, or it could be as long as 8 months from now in August or September. This gives us plenty of time to sit back and confirm that there's no more speed bumps or delays or manufacturing problems before we make our buying decision. If you're one of the people that backed or pre-ordered the SKULLY, you can go to the Make It Right campaign under SKULLY Nation on their website. The form's pretty easy to fill out, and it looks like they got all the customer information from the previous SKULLY iteration. So if you got a refund in some form, even if it was prorated, you might be out of luck. But if you got anything less than a full refund, I'd definitely fill out the form and explain the situation. If they're really committed to making it right, then I'd expect them to at least offer some sort of prorated or discounted helmet purchase offer at minimum for your trouble. If they really wanted to make it right, they'd contact all the people that they don't have records for getting a refund for and make some sort of arrangement. But that's probably too much to ask. They don't say specifically what percentage of their products are going to go to SKULLY fulfillments. It probably depends on how many people request a fulfillment, how many pre-orders they get for the Phoenix, as well as how long it takes them to spin up their manufacturing process. But I wouldn't be surprised if summer 2018 turns into 2019 for a large percentage of SKULLY fulfillment orders. There are a handful of reviews for the previous SKULLY product, and like most bleeding-edge tech products, it wasn't the perfect piece of hardware. The few reviews out there are mostly positive, but do cite some issues that are common with first-gen tech products. Odd battery performance, as well as questionable UI designs with the app and with the rear LEDs, as well as a very limited number of voice commands are some of the issues cited. The SKULLY AR1 was a pretty ambitious product, and they didn't really ship that many, so there isn't as much info for SKULLY Technologies to go off of to refine flaws in the previous design. So if you were scraping your pennies together or considering taking out a fifth mortgage in order to afford a $1,500 to $1,800 helmet, I might sit back and wait for version 2. Second generation products get to take advantage of economies of scale, so a second gen version will likely be cheaper, more reliable, and probably have some fixes for small design flaws. Alright, I said my piece, so, don't come crying to me when you pre-order right now and you don't have it by 2024. I don't do much self-promoting, but if you're into video game stuff, I've started streaming on Twitch. Check it out if you're into that sort of thing, and I plan on doing another interview video and hopefully incorporating some sort of live streaming aspect. Alright, now leave me alone. I gotta put in a pre-order for this Phoenix.
Hey, Skully, I shilled for you. Now give me a free helmet.